Welcome to the space where reflection meets accountability, where real conversations challenge the way we think, speak, and show up in the world. This is a place for growth, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. So take a breath, slow down for a moment, and let's get into today's reflection. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Rosie, and thanks for joining me on Elevate and Glow. You ever watch something simple and realize it's not simple at all? I was on vacation with my sister, and she decided to fly a kite. Nothing deep about it, just wind, open space, and a quiet afternoon. But then, something happened. The string got tangled. Knotted up in ways that didn't even make sense. Tight loops, twists pulling against each other. And I found myself watching her, not just flying a kite, but fighting it. Trying to pull it higher while the knots kept holding it back. And it hit me. That's us. That's what it feels like when you're trying to rise, when you're trying to grow, evolve, become your higher self, and something keeps pulling against you. Because here's the truth nobody really says out loud. You don't just elevate freely. You rise while tangled. See, that kite had everything it needed to fly. The wind was right, the space was open, the timing was just perfect. But the knots changed everything. It couldn't move the way it was designed to move. It couldn't catch the wind the same way. It struggled. Not because it wasn't capable, but because something in its foundation was restricted. And when I think about us as people, our knots look like old habits, old wounds, defense mechanisms we built to survive, but never learned to release. Our knots are the moments we weren't heard. So now we over-explain. The times we were hurt, so now we shut down. The environments we adapted to, that we've outgrown, but still carry. And then we wonder, why does growth feel so hard? Why do we feel stuck? Why can't I just be who I'm trying to become? Because you're trying to fly, with tension still wrapped around your string. What I noticed about my sister, though, she didn't just yank harder. She paused. She brought the kite down, looked closely at the knots, started loosening them one by one. And that part? That's important. Because a lot of us are taught to push through, to grind, to force elevation. But forcing a tangled kite higher doesn't fix the knots. It tightens them. Read that again in your life. The more you ignore what's tangled within you, the tighter it gets. Becoming your higher self isn't about becoming someone new. It's about becoming someone unrestricted. It's not about adding more to yourself. It's about releasing what's constricting you. And that process, it requires emotional awareness. It requires honesty. It requires sitting with parts of yourself you would rather avoid. Because those knots didn't just appear. They formed over time. And they'll take intention to unravel. But here's the beautiful part. Once my sister started loosening those knots, something shifted. The kite didn't just go up. It flowed effortlessly. Like it remembered what it was always meant to do. And that's what happens when you start doing your inner work. You stop forcing your life, and you start flowing in it. You stop reacting and start responding. You stop carrying every version of yourself you had to be, and start choosing who you actually want to be. So if you feel stuck right now, if growth feels heavier than it should, if you're trying to elevate but something keeps pulling you back, don't assume you're broken. Look at your knots. What are you holding on to that's holding you back? What patterns keep repeating? What emotions keep resurfacing? Because your next level isn't blocked by lack of ability. It's blocked by unresolved tension. You are the kite. Your mind, your habits, your healing, that's the string. And your higher self, that's the version of you already capable of flying once you stop tying yourself down. So take your time. Untangle what needs to be untangled. Give yourself permission to pause, not quit. Because elevation isn't about how fast you rise. It's about how free you are when you do. If this resonated with you, please make sure you subscribe for more conversations on growth, emotional intelligence, and becoming who you were always meant to be. Thanks for listening. Until next time, stay aware, stay grounded, and keep growing. Elevate and glow.